Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Yes indeed, starting much earlier, got done with dinner much earlier than I expected, and so I want to jump on early because 8:30 was going to be way too late for me anyway because I need sleep. So I'm glad to be able to jump on early to give you guys a full stream. What is going on? Lily Patton's here, Gannison's here, Tina's here, Orange Hat Reviews is here as well. Kazmazal, always every time. Kazmazal, Jimmy, what's going on, Jimmy? Lee Patton, Anthony Aguirre, Anthony Aguirre, Bear. Always love that name. Niggle Noodles, what's up? Super, hello. How is it going? We are doing just fine. We are doing just fine indeed. And guys, remember, if you want me to answer any questions, or if there's you want me to get, you want to get my attention, or you want me to read anything, remember, Odin question, all one word, is how you get contact of me. Just makes things easier on me in the long run. G Monkey says, hello there, says, hello Tina, an Odin question, so tired, need sleepy. I know, seriously, I definitely need a lot of sleep. And the Aguirre says, is Odin Christian Jeremy, or does Josiah Rises have that role? Definitely Josiah Rises has that role. I'm just his token Christian. I'm just the token Catholic. Entertainment Hacker, man, thank you so much. Starting off with the super chat, appreciate that, man. Always, man, and always remember, you can always put a message in there if you need to. Or if you want to. Thanks for the blue text in the Discord. Entertainment Hacker, no problem at all, man. So glad that you told me about it because obviously there are certain things that I fall behind on very easily. So thank you so much for reminding me. Bruce Wayne 2. Excited for the Joker? Yes. Very excited for the Joker. Love that first trailer. The first trailer was fantastic. Saxon Neon says, Odin's alive. Hello, what's going on? Brandon B. Gonna hang out till the big game. What big game? There's a big game tonight? I don't follow this. Is this the basketballs? I don't follow that stuff. It's all silly nonsense to me. Let's see. John Early says, what are your thoughts about the moment in The Dark Knight Rises where Bruce Wayne climbs out of that pit without the rope? I think it's a beautiful moment. I think it is a beautiful moment as well. I think that entire sequence is done very well. Again, even though overall as a movie, I don't really like The Dark Knight Rises. I don't think it's one of Nolan's best. I think that, unfortunately, the Heath Ledger death really just put everything so off base of what it was supposed to be that it ended up leading to a film that overall was kind of just underwhelming. I mean, when you have Batman Begins, which is probably one of the best origin stories ever told on the screen, or at least I think the way that it was told, and then The Dark Knight, which is almost a damn near perfect movie, I think that it's hard to really be able to match up with Dark Knight Rises, and Dark Knight Rises, unfortunately, I think falls into a lot of traps because of that. But yes, absolutely, that's one of the best. Again, Dark Knight Rises does still, though, because it is a Nolan film, it does have some really great moments in it, and I would say that the Bruce Wayne climbing out of that pit was one of them. Soul's asking, hello, did you hear about that fan attacking Bret Hart? I did, dude. Holy crap, that was insane. So I didn't watch the Hall of Fame. I don't really tend to watch that stuff just because it doesn't interest me at all. The Hall of Fame for the WWE is kind of like a big joke, I feel. Like it just doesn't, I don't take it seriously because of certain people getting in, certain people not being in. I just don't really take it as seriously as some of the others might, not to say anything against anyone that's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I think that most people that are in there deserve to be in there and, work their asses off and deserve that recognition. But also it's kind of just sad to see some of these people when they're a little bit older and just not be able to do the same things that they were able to do. Not just that, but also even basic functions are difficult. Like, I don't know. It's hard to watch sometimes, and so I stick to just, the NXTs on these big, WrestleMania weekends. I stick to the NXT show, which is always better, and this is no exception. The NXT show was better, and it's not necessarily because the main WrestleMania show sucked. It was because, the WrestleMania show actually, for the most part, had some, I would say the vast majority of their matches were actually pretty good, with, I think, good outcomes. The problem with it was that it was 6.5 hours. The show was 6.5 hours. That's insane, and that's not even counting the pre-show. That's way too long. And so, yeah, but the whole Bret Hart being attacked was ridiculous. And all I can say is that that dude got what was coming to him because there were a couple of wrestlers that, like, got in some shots on him. And, yeah, I'm sorry, like, I don't condone violence. But if you're going to go ahead and do something like that, man, you better be ready for the repercussions. So hopefully he indeed gets, the law, gets legal ramifications as well. But also I think that there's something wrong with him, so I hope he also gets the help that he obviously desperately needs. Tina, thank you very much for letting everyone know. When is Lead on 4K? Do not know yet. We don't have any official word yet on this. There is some word coming out, though, about Elite Battle Angel possibly not getting a sequel, but instead being released Apparently, Disney is talking with James Cameron and trying to convince him to turn the movie into a series for the streaming network instead of it being a sequel film. Now, obviously, there are a lot of great things that could come from a series, but I much would rather, especially with the technology they use, with the 3D effects that they use, and they do it very well with Alita, I would much rather get a actual full-fledged sequel than a series. So I really hope that does not happen, but right now that's the only real news that we have. Again, there really is nothing as far as official dates yet. There are a couple of websites that are having, the so-called pre-sales ready, but I don't trust them, perfectly honest. I just don't trust them. I think that they are just trying to get people to give them money, and they're saying, oh, eventually in July we'll have it. And I don't know if July is necessarily, it's called like Zavvi. Don't go to Zavvi. I don't know who they are. I don't trust them because you can apparently pre-order, the steelbooks, but I think it's just because they're taking your money, and then eventually when it becomes available, they're going to get it to you. So I don't know really what their shtick is, but I don't really trust them. So that's the only site that I've seen that have had any type of pre-sales available. Maybe y'all guys will have a little bit more knowledge of them. I don't know. I've never heard of them before. Let's see though. Gannison says, I watched Endgame clip War Machine putting Crap Marvel in her place. Yes. Oh my God. When she says, well, before you didn't have me, and she's like, and he's just like, where have you been this whole time? And then she tries to come back with something and was like, oh, come on. But I will say, a much better version of Captain Marvel already from the Russo brothers compared to her solo film, without any question. What big game basketball? I don't watch basketball. I don't watch that stuff. Orange Chat Review says, amen about the college sports. I just don't get into them. Again, I don't like professional sports much either. I mean, obviously, I watch baseball. It's kind of like the only sport I can get into. But even that, when I follow the scores, I follow the records and stuff. I don't watch the actual full games themselves unless it's like a major series. Like I'm a Red Sox fan, so Red Sox Yankees, I like to watch those series. And anytime there's someone maybe like I like pitching, I'll watch those games too. And then, of course, postseason. Like towards the end of the season, postseason, that's when I kind of start to try and watch as many of the games as I possibly can live. This is not madness. This is Asgard. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeedy. Super says, news just dropped. Reaction to Shazam screenwriter officially returning for sequel. I'm super pumped. Did not know that, but that is awesome because the first Shazam film was fantastic. And I hope that it does well. I hope it does even better. Everyone's in the box office news is talking about how it's not living up to any of the other DC films, had one of the lowest openings, if not the lowest opening for any DC film franchise. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but it was also one of the least expensive DC films to date. So that kind of almost makes sense. Not to mention it's a character that a lot of people don't really know anything about. And Warner Brothers, I don't think really did much with their marketing. Like, I think that if Shazam had the machine of Disney behind it, it would be, it'd be well on its way to $1 billion at this point. But that's just me. Bruce Wayne 2 says, do you think Nolan's secret film is a comic book movie or another original masterpiece? By the way, love your videos, so entertaining. Well, Bruce Wayne 2, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. I don't know what his secret film is going to be. I haven't really read much into it. I haven't really followed. No, I know that Nolan, again, he has projects and he doesn't say anything about it. I don't know. I think he's done with the superhero universes, to be honest. I think that he's made it kind of clear that he's done with that. So I kind of hope that is, because he said that, I hope that is the case. I want him to be a man of his word in that. A man of his word. But I don't know. I hope it's good. I think it's going to be another original masterpiece. If I had to choose between those two, original masterpiece sounds much better. And also seems a lot more likely on top of that. All right, Bruce Wayne 2 was the last person to ask. All right, so Tina says, I did watch your video about idiots thinking Mabel making $1 billion equals it being a superior movie. I'm just happy to see War Machine dress her down. Tina, I love that clip too. It was fantastic. But yeah, seriously, so for the video I made today, and it's also obviously in the topic for this live stream, I just love how there are so many articles being written about the film making $1 billion, and every single person writing these articles, they try and make it seem like that means that the movie's good. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, I can think of so many movies that technically flopped that were masterpieces, and I can think of so many films that made $1 billion that are actually total crap pieces. And also on top of that, there are films that maybe didn't crack the $1 billion mark, but still made multiple $1 million in profit that didn't cost as much as a Captain Marvel or as a, any other big budget film, and yet it's still been profitable. So again, it's not a good metric. Box office success doesn't mean anything. What box office success means is that you were able to market your film very well, and you were able to convince a lot of people to go see your movie. And also, In the case of Captain Marvel, in the case of many Disney films, what they were able to do was they were able to get as many screens as possible and get it at the highest ticket price as they possibly could, because they tried to saturate the market with, again, a higher than average ticket price by saying, okay, you need to have more than the average 3D showings, more than the average IMAX showings, etc., to be able to cover all of the different costs. And so when all that comes into account, it's not nearly as impressive. Especially since they're trying to compare it. So the whole video I made today was because there was some idiot who basically tried to say that because Captain Marvel's now crossed $1 billion, and not just crossed $1 billion, but also has now made more than, before adjusted for inflation, The Dark Knight, that it's something important to talk about. And basically trying to insinuate that it means insinuating it's a good film. Oh, well, The Dark Knight was, universally, critically acclaimed and did very well in the box office, and, oh, now Captain Marvel's made more than The Dark Knight, so obviously there's a correlation there. It's like, no, that's not how this works. Just because a movie makes money doesn't mean it's good. I mean, 50 Shades of Crap made money. Those movies aren't good. Twilight, the Twihards, they ended up making that full franchise into a multi-million-dollar, Ponzi scheme nonsense. Doesn't make those movies any good either. So if we begin to start to make that the metric, it begins to create a lot of problems for a lot of other movies that have been really bad, that have made a lot of money, but also for a lot of great classic films that overall didn't do very well. Blade Runner, the original, did not do well in the original box office run, and yet is considered to be a masterpiece, is considered to be a sci-fi classic, is considered to be so many great things. Blade Runner 2049, in my opinion, is a modern-day masterpiece. Also, didn't make much at the box office, ended up losing money at the box office. I think it probably made some of that up in the Blu-ray, 4K sales, because, I mean, it's a beautiful movie. Denis Villeneuve did a wonderful job with that, which is why I'm very excited for Dune, because I think that Dune is going to be great because he's behind the camera. But yeah, if we're going to start to play this game of, oh, well, it made money, and so therefore it's good. No, that's not how it works. Yeah, War Machine, dressing her down, freaking fantastic. Lethal Lightning, thank you very much, man. Dude, you don't have to. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. Lethal says, just for being a friend and setting an example, I admire. Oh, well, Lethal Lightning, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Guys, go check out the Lethal Lightning channel. He is an awesome dude. He is my friend from Australia, and also he is a member of the League of Nations, which is a once-a-month stream where we have 4 of us, all from different cultures, different backgrounds, different parts of the world, coming together to talk about a variety of topics. The first episode that we did last week, has it already been a week? Oh my goodness. It's been, maybe more than a week at this point. Yes, it's Monday. Oh my goodness, it's Monday. Everything's so crazy. I'm going to Chicago this week. This is insane. Sorry, I'm having this moment of, oh my goodness, there's so many things that need to be done. But anyway, so 2 weeks ago, we did a first ever episode, and it was awesome. We talked about Article 13. We also talked about Captain Marvel, censorship, things like that. It's available on the Welcome to Asgard channel in full, and also on my blogger website, which is where I put all the episodes up as podcasts. So you can actually follow it on Google Play, on Stitcher, on iTunes, and you can listen to it there as a podcast, if you wish. But thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. And Cody Johnson, thank you very much for the super chat. Lily Patton says, I hope Endgame doesn't go woke like Last Jedi. I don't think it will. As again, in the Russos we trust. Until the Russos are able to prove me wrong, until the Russos are able to kind of show that they're going to go in that direction, I think it'll be fine. But the Russos at this point, at least to this point, have not really shown or indicated any of that. So I trust the Russos. I don't trust Disney. I don't trust Kevin Feige. I don't trust them to not try and put messaging in there, but I do trust the Russos to try and make it as good as possible. Even if there is some type of woke messaging, I don't think it's going to be from them. I think it's going to be from the higher-ups. And I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. At least they haven't done so yet. Rhaegar Targaryen says, Hail the Allfather. In the new Avengers teaser clip, it sounds like someone is whispering, I have telepathy, right as Thor summons his hammer before Captain Marvel. What are they hiding? Wait, what? I have telepathy, right as Thor summons... I haven't noticed this. Is this a reference that I'm not getting? It could very well be a reference that I'm not getting. Super says, well, that didn't take long. Disney's only owned Fox for like, what, 2 weeks? And they're already starting to mess up. I know, seriously. They're already starting to mess things up. Because they don't really... I mean, again, Alita Battle Angel is going to make money. I mean, it didn't make money in the box office, but just put that bad boy on a 4K Blu-ray, give us a good transfer, and it's going to sell over 1 million units, at least in the United States. You know, let alone across the world. It's going to make money. It's going to make another 30, 40, 50 million dollars just from that alone. I mean, you add in merchandising, you add in streaming service revenue. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do to help that film make money. Just putting on DVD Blu-ray is already going to help. 4K. Again, I already plan on getting it on 4K. So I don't own a lot of films on 4K because I don't really have the capacity to fully utilize 4K technology yet. But I want to be able to one day, and there's certain movies that I think should be owned on that type of form. And I think that Alita Battle Angel definitely deserves that because it's a beautiful film. But yeah, seriously, I don't think a series would do it justice. Again, as I said before, even though I'm excited to buy it on 4K, I don't even think the 4K Blu-ray is going to be able to do justice to this film as a giant projector would be able to. So I think that if you were to change this into a series, if you were trying to put this on a streaming network and you were therefore going to limit the quality of the image, limit the quality of the stream, because streaming can only go so far. Yeah, you can get 4K streaming, but it's not going to be the same as if you're seeing it on the big screen. It's not going to be the same as if you're even watching it on a physical media as well. So I'm really hoping that that's not the case. I hope they don't go in that direction. I would much rather them give us a sequel that the fans really do want, and the fans will help be able to justify. Just give us the Blu-ray. Just announce the date, put up the pre-orders, and wait and see. If you put those pre-orders up, I think they'll be very, very surprised. Because you know I'll be promoting the hell out of the pre-orders for that film. No question about it. Nostalgia Network says, this is my first time watching one of your live streams. Well, Nostalgia Network, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining. This is indeed how things tend to go. Let's see. Infinity. Sorry, I saw numbers and I had to read it. It says Infinity Stone D says, fun fact: Disney owned 30% of Hulu. After they bought Fox, they now own 60%. Not only that, but they're also now trying to gain another 10% or so from another organization, meaning that eventually they could own around 70%. So that's why my thought process is that what they'll end up doing is for the Disney Plus service, they'll have their kids shows, they'll have the Star Wars shows, things like that. But then for Hulu, if they really wanted to, if they wanted to bring back maybe the Daredevil, they wanted to maybe bring back, you know, some of their edgier shows, they could do it on Hulu because they'll own, you know, 70% or so of the network. So, I mean, I assume therefore they'd be able to do it. I don't really know how much, you know, owning the stock and owning the, you know, I don't know how that works. I wish I did. John Early says, I don't envy J.J. Abrams with editing Star Wars Episode 9. I mean, The Last Jedi was such a mess that I doubt J.J. can salvage it. I don't think he can either, to be honest. I think that what J.J.'s trying to do, if I had to guess, my guess is that JJ, in making Episode 9, is just trying to make a good standalone film. I think that's honestly what he's going to be trying to... He's not going to try and make it following up the events of The Last Jedi. It's going to be simply trying to make an individually good film, and I think he's going to actually do more callbacks to his movie, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, than The Last Jedi. The fact that there's already the rumors going around that he's going to retcon some of the things that Rian Johnson did kind of seems to indicate that, because again, as I said before, Rian Johnson took all the little balls that, you know, that J.J. Abrams were like, hey man, here they are, they're softballs, man, you can knock them out of the park if you really wanted to. And then, of course, Ryan takes them and is like, all right, I'm going to catch it, and then I'm just going to throw it into the stands. It's like, no, that's not how the game works. But I subverted your expectations. But that's not how this works. So I think that he's going to end up retconning a lot of things, and I think it's going to end up for the better. So again, I think we're going to get a solid, independent, you know, film. But then when you look back at everything and think, wait, this is a part of a trilogy, okay, now this doesn't really work. So yeah, I can't wait to see what the title is and also what the trailer is going to look like, because, man, they have so much. They have so much they have to fix. If they want to salvage anything, they have so much. Jedi Sage Monk, thank you very much for that super chat. Says, you deserve a super chat for your 50 Shades of Crap comment alone. Box office sales have never corresponded to a film's success or artistic merit. Jedi Sage, thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. And yes, 50 Shades of Crap is the most accurate title for it. Obviously, there's a lot of other things that I could say, but they would not be a part of the language I like to use for my channel. So thank you very much for that super chat. I appreciate it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Again, just because a film makes money does not mean that it's a good film objectively, or that it's artistically valuable either. Well, how can you say it's artistically valuable? I mean, art is up to the beholder. You know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So is art. Yes. But at the same time, if you are a person that's going to try and tell me that abstract art is art, I'm the same person that will spit in your face because you do not want to be cool. Sorry, not to drag abstract art into the same conversation as 50 Shades of Grey. However, at the same time, I kind of do put them in the same category, at least for me. I feel like if there's a comparison, if we're going to talk about artwork here, we're talking about like the merit of an artist, I would say that when you take that form of art and compare it to other forms of art, that it's like the 50 Shades of Grey of the art world, at least for me personally, because the things I could say about art. All right, so John Early had the last comment before the chat jumped on me. Let's see, where did you go? Where are you going? All right, Cupcake Geek. What's up, Cupcake Geek? Love that name. Says, what do you think of the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer? Are you excited for Dark Phoenix? I'm not excited for Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix just doesn't have... Apocalypse kind of killed the X-Men for me. They were on such a great track record. Like, First Class was fantastic. I freaking love First Class so much. And then, of course, you had, you know, the... oh, my goodness. I always forget the name of it, but the... because the title is just very convoluted for me. The one with time, when they go back in time, and there's something to do with time. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm blanking out on it. But anyway, the follow-up to that was also Days of Future Past. That's what it is, Days of Future Past. Sorry. I had a brain fart for a second. I had to think about it. So Days of Future Past. So I think that those two films were great. And then they made Apocalypse, and Apocalypse just sucked. I just didn't like it at all. I almost hated the film. I was like, I was in the movie, and I was just like, I don't like this. I don't want to still watch this anymore. And so I look at those two films, and they were, you know, the first two films were great. The third one was bad, and I feel like if I had to get a feeling for what the trailers are revealing about Dark Phoenix, it seems and feels a lot more like Apocalypse than it does than the first two. So I don't really have high hopes for it at this point, but obviously I'm probably going to go see it. But you did ask about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It looks great. Simple as that. I mean, the poster obviously still sucks because it just doesn't look very good, but the trailer and the movie itself look great. I mean, they've got a great cast. I love Quentin Tarantino's work. I mean, most of the film, there's only like maybe one or two films that I don't like from his canon, but everything else is great. And obviously, even the films I don't like, I can still find things that I could say, oh, these, you know, the dialogue here is great, the character work is great, because he has that skill. But there's obviously just certain stories that don't appeal to me. But I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to be one of those films that's going to be like, you know, really great. Rhaegar Targaryen says Hellboy is going to be awful. I mean, that's another one where the trailer for me, I was like, It looks okay. It comes out this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to see it because I'm busy Thursday anyway, and then I'm going to be in Chicago Friday to Sunday for Celebration. So, you know, I'll see it eventually, I guess. But yeah, I agree. I think Hellboy, I don't know if it's going to be awful necessarily. I just don't know why they're making it. I just feel like, okay, you were going in a certain direction beforehand, and I think the direction you were going beforehand had a very good following to it. Now I don't know what this is being made for anymore. It's like, okay, you're rebooting a character, and the character hasn't really been around in the cinematic universe that, you know, all that long, really. It kind of reminds me of Spider-Man, where I'm like, oh, let's just not reboot it every 5 seconds. That would be nice. I hope that doesn't happen. Leader Troll says, you remind me of Megatron. You should do Megatron voice. I do? Doing what? I don't think I could do a Megatron voice. Nostalgia Network says, do you think Ruin Johnson's trilogy will be mentioned at Celebration? It may be in passing. See, here's the thing. There's going to be a panel, I know, but I don't know if you're going to be able to ask questions, and my number one question would be like, hey, what's going on with the Rian Johnson trilogy? And basically, something would tell me that they're just going to play the typical party line and say, oh, he's working on it, and we still have plans, but they're not going to give anything definitive yet. I think that's kind of like, you know, until Episode 9 actually comes out, I don't think they're going to really say anything about it. I think it would not be surprised if after Episode 9, they kind of say, oh, yeah, we've created differences. Rian Johnson's going to go do his own thing, which I think would be better for everyone involved because let's just be honest here for a second. It would be better for everyone involved. Slicer Neon says, Captain Marvel is a masterpiece. Yes. You put it so very well. A masterpiece is indeed the correct thing. Super Anime Gamer says, yeah, does it make sense? Shazam's budget was around 80 to 100 million, and the character isn't that big, but you know it doesn't matter because pretty sure Shazam is already making profit. Yeah, no, seriously, like Shazam's going to be profitable. There's no question or doubt about that. It's just that everyone's talking about how it's just not as big as the others, and it's like, okay, so I love how you like to pick and choose the narratives that you talk about. I love how even when talking about Shazam, they still got to talk about Captain Marvel. Because obviously they realize and recognize that if they don't stop talking about it, then eventually people are just going to stop caring about it because it's a total meh fest. Again, as Slicer Neon says, it's a total masterpiece. Like it is the epitome of ordinary. It is the epitome of just bland. It is bland toast. It is plain toast with no butter, with no jam. It's just boring. And basically, you don't ever really go back to bland toast unless you're sick. But even if I was sick, I would not want to watch that film ever again. Let's just be honest for a second. Super says, Dark Knight made money because it was good. Captain Marvel made money because normie fans thought it would be relevant to Endgame. Spoiler, it wasn't. Curse you, Marvel! Curse you! No, you, Super, you hit it right on the head. The reason why Dark Knight made money was because it was a good film, had great word of mouth, and therefore was able to make, you know, over $1 billion. When you look to Captain Marvel, on the other hand, it made a crap ton of money very early on because, as you said, many people thought it was going to be relevant to the storyline for Endgame. They thought they had to see it because that's how it was marketed, that's how it was portrayed, and yet when you actually see the movie, you think, okay, no, this actually creates more problems. There's actually a lot of questions now that I have that should not have been asked in the first place because the canon was mostly fine. There weren't really any canonical issues, but now there are because you decided to go back in time and change characters and change time elements and decide just to make things up as you go along for what? You know, so that you could push the first, you know, female-led MCU film? Was it really that important to you? You could have done much more easily a Black Widow film during that same time period that also would have been very successful, and it wouldn't have had to break the canon of the star, you know, of the story, of everything going on. But no, obviously they don't care about that because it's all about the agenda. Push, 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 push. Rhaegar Targaryen says, HJWs, Avatar made $2.79 billion, therefore not only is it the best movie, it is a milestone achievement since the dawn of mankind. Odin literally shaking. Oh my gosh, yes, Rhaegar Targaryen. Oh my goodness, yes, because according to their logic, if a movie makes money, it's a good film. So according to them, seeing that as far as, obviously this is before you adjust for inflation, because of the fact that Avatar made $2.7 billion, it is on paper, as far as like raw dollars are concerned, the highest grossing film of all time, before inflation. I know, trust me, I recognize that. Therefore, it must be the best movie of all time. No, that's not how it works. Avatar sucks. The story sucks. It's a total ripoff of so many other films. Yes, you can say that the animation and the world that's being built is beautiful, and I can agree. Even when I saw that film, I said, you know what? The world that James Cameron built was indeed beautiful. Unfortunately, had to ruin it by putting giant blue Smurf people in there who have sex with ponytails. And those same ponytails are used to connect to animals, to ride them. Yeah, that's the reason. There's a lot of reasons not to like that movie. And no, that is not one of the best movies of all time because it made $2.7 billion. That's not how this works. Ever. Oh, my goodness. Rhaegar Targaryen. Now, you've got me triggered now, man. How dare you even mention that? Super says, oh, forgot to ask you about this before, but since you're a Cowboy Bebop fan, did you hear about the Netflix live-action version and the casting? John Cho is playing Spike. I did, and overall, I like the casting. You know, obviously there are certain casting choices you look to and you think to yourself, okay, I see what you're trying to do here. I see what you're trying to do here. But the actors themselves, at least like for the two main male leads, are both great actors. Like the guy that's playing, again, I forget the names from it for, you know, because obviously I love Cowboy Bebop, but also at the same time I binge watched it through and character names weren't really the strongest suit. So obviously Spike being the lead guy, I think that John Cho is great. I think that he'll work fine for that role. I think that he'll be able to kind of get that, you know, that sense of being laid back, but also be able to, you know, have action to him as well will be fine. But also the guy that they have playing, I forget what the other male lead is in the show. I forget the character's name. But the guy that's playing him is the same dude that played the villain in the last season of Luke Cage, and he was actually really good. I liked him a lot. As many issues that I had with Luke Cage, especially season 2, the villain was not one of them. He was pretty damn good. Orange Eye Review says, they did what to Alita? A series? Has any series ever received a budget that can put CGI to that quality of a show? I think not. No, they can't. And even with Disney money behind it, no, they wouldn't be able to. That's why what my hope is that even though they're trying to push this on James Cameron, because James Cameron does have some sense of pride, he'll say, screw you, you either make the movie or I take it somewhere else. And I think if he takes it somewhere else, Disney will end up regretting it. So, you know, obviously in 2, they have to work with him anyway because they obviously own the distribution rights to Avatar. And so now they have to basically figure out, okay, we can't make him mad because he's got this IP that is actually worth a lot of money, and we don't want to mess up that relationship. So hopefully what James Cameron does says, okay, well, you know what? I'm all about Avatar. I'm going to make 5 Avatar films, and I don't know why he's got to do that. But also maybe since, you know, Alita was indeed a passion project, that he'll allow that passion to continue and say, oh, but you have to make sure that this film gets a sequel. If that happens, we'll be good, I think. I think we'll be good. Jedi Sage Monk, thank you again for the super chat. Says, thanks, Odin. People at my cafe are looking at me weird for laughing so much. Giant blue Smurf people. I'm glad I'm making you laugh, man. Seriously, though. They are giant blue Smurf people. Oh, man. I can't wait to actually have like a sit-down debate with Anna, that Star Wars girl, who loves the movie. But again, I think she is biased to like the movie. And the reason why is because it is artistically beautiful. Like, from a production design perspective, from an artistic perspective, there are a lot of beautiful elements to it. The color palette, all that stuff is nice, but that doesn't make a movie good. Just like having a lot of money at the box office doesn't make a movie good. Also, those elements don't make a movie good either. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Surfdream Gaming says, how positive do you believe Alita will get a sequel out of 10? I think 8. Because, and again, it comes down to one person, though, James Cameron. James Cameron owns the IP. James Cameron can take that project wherever the hell he wants. And James Cameron has so much money because, again, $2.7 billion. The studio ended up, well, obviously the studio only made about 60% of that, but still, that's a lot of money. Even if you take 60% of it, he'd still basically made like close to $1 billion in profit. Even when you take into account how much he spent on the film, the dude made a lot of money just on that first Avatar film because of how well it did. So I think that if you take that into account, and also the fact that he's made a lot of films that have made a lot of money, he obviously could produce a lot of films just on his own. And I would not be surprised if there are some studios that would like to work with him on an Alita sequel, because I think they recognize that there's a very passionate fan base that would very much like to see it. Now, I don't think they're going to get as nearly as high of a budget as the first film, but we shall indeed see. But I'm pretty confident about it because I think that it's all up to James Cameron. I think that James Cameron, if he really is passionate about the project, will want the project to be completed. Even if it's just one more movie, even if he has to kind of condense everything into one film instead of a trilogy like maybe he had planned, or a universe maybe. I don't really know what he had in mind, but it is interesting nonetheless. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident. G-Monkey says, Disney messed up the Fantastic Four before they owned it by what they did with the Skrull and Captain Marvel. Oh, God, yeah, seriously, man. Dude, yeah. Fantastic Four, even though they own the rights to Fantastic Four now, because of what they did to the Skrull in Captain Marvel by making them good guys. I know that people have been arguing, trying to say, oh, well, it's just one group. It's not all of them. But when you watch the movie, it doesn't really seem to indicate that it is just the one group. It seems that there is a clear bad guy in the Kree-Skrull war. And if you're going to portray the Skrull as the good guy, which they did very clearly in this movie, well, then that means that they're going to be the good guy throughout, essentially. And that means that you can't do Secret Invasion. And that means there's a lot of story elements you can't do, including bringing in some of the most important aspects of the Fantastic Four universe. So, yeah. It's so amazing that they've already screwed all this up. Anyway, William Jenkins. What's going on, dude? Thank you very much for the super chat. Says, hey, Lord Odin. FYI, Alien will be in theaters for the 40th anniversary in October as a Fathom event. Yes, I've heard about this. It actually just got a 4K release. I was very tempted to get it, but I am very happy with my Blu-ray copy already, so... But yeah, I definitely would be interested in going to see that in theaters, for sure. And yes, I'm looking forward to that more than I am Episode 9. In my opinion, Cowboy Bebop and Witcher series will suck. I would say William Jenkins does not have a lot of confidence in those. I know that there's already been a lot of questions and doubts with the Witcher series. I don't really know Witcher that much, just again, because I'm very limited in certain aspects when it comes to gaming, comics, anime, manga. I'm very limited when it comes to that kind of stuff, unfortunately. Cowboy Bebop, though, it's a great series. And to be honest, I don't want it to really be... Unless they were going to make it an animated series that used a lot of the same, creators and you used a lot of the same people that were involved in the first place, I would be okay with that, but they've already done that. They already made a Cowboy Bebop movie, so I don't really think they need to do a live-action version of it. And if they're going to do it, they need to do it right, and we all know that Hollywood cares more about an agenda than it does about doing films right. But William Jenkins, good to see you again, man. I feel like it's been a while. So thank you for jumping in the stream, and thank you very much for that super chat. And yes, anniversary for Alien coming out in October in theaters. Yes, I hope it gets like an IMAX release or Dolby. Oh my goodness, if that film gets a Dolby release, whew, I'm there. I am there, no question about it. Tina says, Surfdream Gaming wonders how long the stream might go tonight. So let's see, it's about 8:22 my time, so I could go a little after 9, so it's gonna go maybe an hour and 15, hour and 20 is my ideal, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how things flow. We'll see how things flow. And Tina, thank you very much for helping out. For the people that cannot write certain things because of various factors. Okay, Super says, don't know much about stocks either, but my guess is they want to control as much as they can, as easily as they can. They want to own the platform now. Why they want to do that, I don't know. As I said before, I think the reason why is because either they want to take it down, because they just want Disney Plus to be its one thing. But here's the problem with the Hulu thing is that if they decide to split, if they decide to put more adult content on Hulu, well, then that means that someone has to buy 2 different, subscriptions. And I think that's a bad move. I think it's a big mistake because then you're causing people to spend more money. So I would much rather Disney Plus focus on having different tiers where there is basically a way in which if you're a certain age, you can sign up to have access to certain content, like having maybe Daredevil or things like that, rather than them having to go all the way over to Hulu. Or unless they are able to, because they own 60 and in the future possibly even more percent of Hulu, maybe that they'll be able to do is, you know, create some kind of deal where if you buy the subscription to Disney that you get either a cheaper discounted version of Hulu or it's included. I don't know. It's interesting to see what they could do. There's a lot of possibilities with it. However, with Disney's track record as of late, I don't really have confidence that it's going to be a very good decision or a decision that's going to really be for the fans personally. John Early says, I've heard the quote unquote 50 Shades of Grey film parody called 50 Shades of Black was a much worse film. Yeah, never saw it. Heard of it, know exactly what you're talking about, never saw it because it did look worse. Somehow they made a movie worse than 50 Shades of Grey, and that seemed to be the one. Oh, hi, Steph. How's it going? Greta says, the Dark Phoenix trailers just look like Sansa is evil and that's it. Yeah, seriously. And I think that the trailers have gotten better as time's gone on, which is a good thing because they need to try and make that film look as good as possible, and they still got some time because what is it, come out till summer, I don't think? So they still have time to try and kind of change those and, you know, turn that around. But, yeah, not excited for it. Not really that excited for it. Tita says, we can all have opinions, but that sort of language is uncalled for. Therefore, the time out. Oh. Someone got timed out? Is that why? Oh, someone got timed out. Okay. I didn't see it in the first place. So, Gannison says, if you have a chance to meet Ryan Johnson, what would you ask and would you boo at him? Gannison, for you, man, yes. If I'm at one of the panels at Celebration, which I don't even know if they've allowed us to even sign up for any panels yet. I've not gotten any notifications or emails about it, so I guess they're going to do that soon. I mean, they kind of need to figure that out. I mean, it's starting this week, and I don't think they've allowed anyone to sign up for panels yet, unless I totally just missed that. But I don't even think the app is live yet officially. I don't know. Maybe I'm behind on that. But yeah, I think that if for any reason and I don't think it's going to happen because Ryan Johnson is all about this new film of his, Knives Out, because he's like, once Knives Out's done, that's when I'll go back to Star Wars. But yeah, if they somehow got him on stage, I would boo him. Not just for you, but obviously for the entire Phantom Menace and for me too, because I think Ryan Johnson's I think he's I can't say it. I want to say it, but I can't. Grandmaster Yoda says, I believe if Endgame doesn't beat Avatar, number one, will you... hold on. I believe if Endgame doesn't beat Avatar, no one will do it. Do you agree? Yes. And I've said this before. I think if any film can ever beat the 2.7 billion unadjusted numbers, of course, that it would be Endgame. Endgame, to me, is the only film, I think, that I can see in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe even ever, to break the $1 billion mark, or rather to break the $3 billion mark at the box office. And the reason why is because obviously it's built up. If Captain Marvel can make over $1 billion and it's a terrible film, Endgame, which has had even more time to be built up and so many other factors behind it, I think that it could easily make $1 billion opening weekend. Like, again, I think honestly there's a good chance. Early projections have Endgame making around $800 million in its opening weekend. And those are just early estimates. I mean, based on those opening day sales, I would say that some people are going to have the estimates in a wide range from like 700 to $1 billion, to be honest, for opening weekend, which is insane. And if it has only a 50% drop from week 1 to week 2, that means it's going to make $1.5 billion in 2 weeks. And if that's 60%, which oftentimes films, big budget films especially, make 60% of their entire box office in those first 2 weeks, that's, again, it's going to get close. If any film could get close to Avatar, it would be Endgame. And after Endgame, as you said, and I think you're absolutely right, Grandmaster Yoda, I don't think anyone else could ever get close. I don't. Because as I mentioned before, the movie theaters are contracting. Ticket sales have been down overwhelmingly. Yeah, Captain Marvel made a crap ton of money, but when you look at the rest of the box office, it's not doing nearly as well. And after Endgame, it's kind of going to be like, all right, we're going to go back to the contract. Obviously, certain films are going to make money, certain films are not going to make money, but you're going to come to the point where the theater businesses are going to start to shut down and slow down. And yeah, it's going to become a digital age. A digital age. Alita Troll says, don't piss off Anna. She loves Avatar. Yes, she loves Avatar, but she's wrong. All right? She can love Avatar subjectively, but objectively, she's still wrong because objectively, it's a bad movie. It's terribly written. It is so bad. It's so terribly written. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. It is so terribly written. I tell you this. I don't lie. Alrighty, let's see. Alrighty. Looks like we got a lot of new people who have not learned the new tag. So again, oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's totally not a troll name. I love this. Says, why are you deleting my comments? You're too scared to have a conversation? You're acting like an SJW. I'm not deleting anything. It's probably my Valks, and it's probably because you're saying stupid things. Because we keep things clean on this channel. As you've noticed, I don't curse. I don't drop the F-bombs on this channel, and we try and keep the chat as clean as possible too. And it's not anything to do with you not having freedom of speech. It has everything to do with this being my channel, and also the fact that I obviously don't just do this for a living. If I just did this for a living, then we might have some different rules. But I work for a living, and I'm trying to get other work for a living, because the guys who've been following my channel know various things have been going on in my life. And I want to make sure there's not anything that anyone can point to say, oh, we can't hire this person, or oh, this person's done this, and so now it's all about this. Okay? So it's not anything about not wanting to have a conversation. It's obviously you're probably saying something that is inappropriate, and my Valks know what is up. So Valks, I'm right behind you. I have your back on this. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure you'll tell me about it later because you see all those comments. I don't. And I appreciate you for your work. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all I can say is clean up your language, because that's probably the only reason why, unless you're being a troll. Because if you're being a troll, well then, come on. Find something better to do with your life. Jedi Sage Monk, thank you again for another super chat. Man, Jedi Sage Monk is on fire tonight. If they wanted to make an Avatar version, perhaps they can call it 50 Shades of Blue. Oh, please don't. We already have... That's the thing, Jedi Sage Monk. We already have 50 Shades of Blue in Avatar. Oh, man. Because I love how I love how Anna's like, why are you so obsessed with them having sex? I don't even remember that part. It's like, it stands out as being one of the most awkward parts of the movie, because you're like, wait a minute, they're using their ponytails, but didn't they just use that to ride the animals? Wait, what does that say about the reproduction cycle? What is this? Oh, man. Jedi Sage Monk, thanks, man. But yeah, they already made 50 Shades of Blue. It's called Avatar. Rhaegar Targaryen says, I never understood why they just don't they don't just do a version of Dark Phoenix Saga with the Hellfire Club, X-Men. TAS has the definitive Dark Phoenix Saga, also the best Apocalypse, by the way. Okay, yeah, as I said, I'm not a comics guy, so some of that makes sense to me. But yeah, I think that what they need to do, and obviously it's, you know, one of the Fox's last projects before they were taken over by Disney. So my guess is that they were just trying to, you know, continue the story because they wanted to try and keep making money, not necessarily by telling the best story possible. I mean, they have a track record of doing that. Remember that it was Fox that was behind the, you know, the abomination that we call X-Men Origins Wolverine. And so we know they can make bad films. We also know they can make good films, because Logan was fantastic. It's just interesting how hit and miss they are, because they can make an Oscar-worthy film like Logan, but then they can also make films like X-Men Origins Wolverine, or, in my opinion, X-Men Apocalypse, you know, just really bad films. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. So, again, even though Disney does not really have a good track record at this point of taking in properties and doing a lot of really great things with them, you know, people will say, the MCU, yeah, the MCU, but remember that they've also now started to kind of go down the same track that they were trying to take Star Wars, and we all know how the Star Wars fandom reacted to them trying to do that. The difference with the MCU is that they've had much more time to be able to build up this normie popcorn audience that eventually, though, will get sick of it just like anyone else. All right, sounds like there might be a troll. Let's see. Tina says, I timed them out for using 2 racial slurs. Whoa, okay, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're using racial slurs, you have no business here. Simple as that. Like, it's one thing if you drop an F-bomb accidentally or something like that, because, like, there are some people that can, you know, drop that kind of language in here, and we're not probably, you know, we're not going to do anything about it. But if you're dropping racial slurs, that is totally uncalled for. That is totally unnecessary. And that is absolutely not something that I, you know, that's not something I will stand behind, ever. So, yeah, my Valks know what's up, and they're going to keep on doing what they need to do. Let's see, Super says, I hope they don't shut Hulu down. It's a good service, and sadly, that's the platform that stuck One Punch Man on. Boo. Oh, no. Maybe Disney will bundle the service together. Yeah, again, I think that if they're going to do anything with it, they're either going to bundle it or they're eventually going to take it down. Like, those are the only 2 options. If you're going to overtake, again, they have 60%. I forget what company they're working with, but they're trying to make out a deal to get an extra 10%. So, theoretically, in the next year, they could have 70% stake in Hulu. So, if you're doing that, you're either trying to take the whole thing over, in which case you take it over to either tear it apart, you know, use its assets, you know, use certain things that Hulu has to try and maybe make their service better. I don't know. Again, I don't really know how that all that stuff works. I don't know if you need to own 100% in order to do that, or if owning part of it does. I don't know. But yeah, I think that it's either you take it down or you use it. And so who knows what they're going to do. Let's see. Slicer Neon says 50% of the Celebration audience should boo Rian Johnson if he... It's what he wants. It is what he wants. And I think it's honestly what they want too. They want that to happen because that means more headlines for them. It means they can try and say, oh my gosh, there was an alt-right contingent. You know, the headlines would be a bunch of alt-right alt-right sexist racists decided to go into Star Wars Celebration. You know, they broke into Star... You know, that's what they would do with it. Absolutely. No question in my mind. But yeah, I mean, if Rian Johnson, if they are idiots enough to bring Rian Johnson out on one of those stages, they're asking for it at that point. Because, yeah, he might have as many fans as you want, but there are tons of people, even people who are not even, would not consider themselves to be part of the Phantom Menace, just didn't like The Last Jedi, just didn't think it was very good, would still say, yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of you, man. You didn't make a very good movie. Super says, I'll say it for you. Rian Johnson is a scruffy-looking nerf herder. Yes. Yes. That's what we needed. Rian Johnson is indeed a scruffy-looking nerve herder. Perfect. Random Nerd of Doom. Hail Odin. Hail to you, good sir. G-Monkey, app is live. Not sure, but I think the lottery for the panel started. What? Really? Well, I'm behind. No surprise there. As I mentioned before, I'm mostly going to see you guys. I'm mostly going, of course, to meet up with some other great content creators too. And that's kind of like, I'm kind of there going to hang out. Vlog, stuff like that. It'd be cool to get into some of the panels because there are a couple of things like Mandalorian. I'm actually genuinely interested in Mandalorian. Actually would like to go see and find out more about the Mandalorian. And obviously I want to try and find out and be available to find out the name of the movie, episode 9, and the trailer, because I want to be able to give you guys, instant access to that, instant reactions, that kind of thing. So we will find that soon. So I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to probably look that up to see if I can find the app after I get off the stream. Nickel Noodle says, would you start shilling for Disney if you ran into Rian Johnson and he offered to cast you as a grown-up broom boy in his upcoming trilogy? No. I would accept the role because it would probably offer a crap ton of money, but I wouldn't shill. See, that's the thing, is like I can make the smart business decision, but in my contract it'd say, you must allow me to say whatever I want to say. And I still say that your movie sucked. Oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't shill for him, but I mean, I'm not going to turn down that money. I'm not going to sell my soul for the money, but I'm not going to turn it down completely either. John Early says, The Last Jedi was so bad, I wouldn't write fan fiction about it. Even if it was a crossover with the CW Flash, I still wouldn't co-write it. Oh, man, that's so true. Super says, so Endgame is being released on the same day globally. So let me just double check that. It is getting an early release in certain countries. And I think that's kind of just to build up the wave of momentum. And I think that's what's going to lead to this, again, this gigantic opening that's going to have that opening weekend. But it's opening in most countries within the first week. So there's not like a week difference. It's basically opening in the 24th. I think Gannison, who's in Malaysia, he says that they're getting it on the 24th. There's a couple other countries. I think there are like 6 or 7 countries that are getting it on the 24th and not the 25th, 26th, depending on if you go to the Thursday or Friday showing. So they're getting it on that Wednesday instead, technically. And so I think that when it comes to those, that you're getting still within the first week, though. So it's not too much of a difference. But let me just see. Do they have that information yet available? Let's see. Endgame opening weekend. Because normally they have that information. Let me see. Not Fortune, not Deadline. No, the sites I'm looking for are coming up. So let me just go back to the chat for a second. But yeah, they're releasing within like a week of each other, though. That is a fact. Tina, thank you, Tina. I appreciate you for trying to reach out to this person. Yanis says, I will watch the Endgame on the 25th, so I might make a spoiler-free review on Geeks and Gamers Facebook page. Nice, Gannison. I don't use Facebook anymore, so send me that review if you can on Twitter or on the Discord, if you can, because I would love to hear your thoughts. Alex Martinez, hello there. Hello, Alex Martinez. How art thou? Bear, bear, bear. What's going on, Bear? Oh, what's going on, Bear? Bruce says, I have all of the released Marvel movies, but I think I'll pass on Captain Marvel. Yeah, seriously. I don't have all of them. There are a few that I do want to collect. There are a couple that I don't want to collect. There are a couple films I think are bad. For example, Age of Ultron. Don't like it. Have no plans of owning it. I didn't like the first Captain America. I know that there's some people that do like it. I didn't. I thought the first Captain America, first Avenger sucked. Now, maybe if I went back now after seeing Captain Marvel, I would enjoy it a little bit more, but I just didn't like it. Now, when you talk about Winter Soldier, Civil War, those are films that are fantastic. Winter Soldier, I own. Civil War I own as well. And Thor Ragnarok, I own. I don't own Thor the Dark World because I didn't like Thor the Dark World. So, again, there's bad MCU films. There's good MCU films. So, yeah, I don't own them all. But, yeah, definitely going to hard pass on the Captain Marvel. Oh, but the special features. No, not going to happen. 70B, thank you very much for helping the peeps out. Thank you for helping the peeps out. Lou, hey, dude, how's your day going? What's up, Lou? How's it going? It's going fine. It's going very, very, very fine. Steph says, we had 2 different trolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 didn't say any racial slurs. Thank you very much. So, guys, remember, I am behind in the chat. So, don't freak out if I say something, all right? Because if it gets corrected later on, I don't find out right away, all right? So, just let things play out as they will. And if that is indeed something incorrect that's said, I will, again, point it out. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very, very sorry. Again, I was just reading and trying to figure out what was being said because I only read the ones that have Odin question in it just because otherwise I will be even more, I would be even further behind at this point if I did not do that. So, Darth says, I wish I had your beard. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Rigar Targaryen says, X-Men TS, the animated series from the 1990s. It's the best version of X-Men, which the movies. Oh, okay. I've always wanted to watch it. I just never did. I watched Batman the Animated Series and like a crap ton of other TV when I was a kid. That was like one of the series that for some reason I just never watched. So I might have to try and find that at some point. G Monkey, all lotteries for Celebration end tonight at 11:59 Central Standard. What? Oh, God. That's stupid. I'm already over it. They didn't email me. I have my email set up to it and everything. Conspiracy! No, I'm not going to fall into that. But no, I signed up my pass and everything for it, and I connected my email. I'm surprised they didn't email me saying the lotteries were live. That's stupid that they wouldn't do that. Random Doom, if left really cared about diversity, then I as a person with Asperger's wouldn't be mocked for my social awkwardness in 2019. Non-autistic take knowing how to make friends for granted. I definitely think that's a good point. For sure. Sia Productions, booze Ryan Johnson to him will be like music to his ears, probably. Tony Stark's in here. What's up, Tony Starks? Odin's alive? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeedy. That's the ticket. All right. John Early says, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice was more entertaining than Last Jedi, and BVS and Man of Steel were train wrecks. I agree. I'll agree with you there. And now, of course, is when all of the hardcore Zack Snyder fans leave the live stream, is because they don't like when people bad talk their guy, but BVS was a crap film. Man of Steel was not as crap as BVS or Justice League. Justice League and BVS were easily the worst. Suicide Squad wasn't very good either. There's been a plethora of bad DCU films. There's also been 3 solid ones too. Obviously, for my ranking, Shazam is the best so far. Then I'd put Wonder Woman and then Aquaman. Now, I know that some people might disagree with that order, and I totally respect your opinion. I just thought that as a film, Wonder Woman was a better made film, even though the villain sucked and the CGI kind of sucked. Aquaman, to me, just had a middle part that slowed down so much that I almost fell asleep, and it was just, yeah. A couple other just pacing issues. Random Dude says, should I quit my job? I work in retail, and socializing with other people builds up my anxiety a lot. Making friends is difficult in real life for me. I mean, again, I'm not going to suggest that you quit a job. You know, obviously you do what's best for you. If you think that it's better for you to stay and you think that having that type of interaction is healthier because it gets you more interaction and gets you more practice, then I would say stay with it. Obviously for financial reasons, you might need to stay with it as well. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you whether or not to stay or not, but again, that's totally up to you, bro. Alex Martinez says, you don't like Captain America the First Avenger? Blasphemy! I say, thou speaks heresy. Yes, I know, right? I know, right? Seriously, I don't like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are parts that I like. Tommy Lee Jones is fantastic. Tommy Lee Jones steals that movie, and I love Tommy Lee Jones in that movie. It's just the rest of it, I can't get into it. I think my biggest issue with that film is the CGI. The CGI is cringeworthy in that film, and there are certain parts, specifically when there are the giant tanks and the explosions going around, that whole sequence is awful. Looks terrible. And as you guys know, I'm a CGI hawk, and that one makes all of my sensors go off and be like, no, this is so bad. Cringeworthy facepalm moment. Orange Hat Reviews. The first Captain America's music was good. The movie was not bad, but it wasn't good. But the music has very good, though, in my opinion. No, again, I think there are good elements to the film. Music, I don't really remember it that much, but if I had to guess, I would say it's probably pretty good. And again, there are good parts to it, but there are a lot of movies that have good parts to them, but aren't necessarily the best films out there. There are also some really bad films that don't have many good parts to them. For example, Captain Marvel. Orange Hat Reviews. All right, got that one already. Gannison says, I think DVD sales for Crap Marvel will be the same as Last Jedi, and it will go bargain bin within weeks. Yeah, I would say so. There's going to be those crazies that are going to go out of their way and be like, oh my gosh, I have to own it. I have to see those special features. Oh my gosh. Like, there's going to be those people out there. There's going to be those people who are going to buy it just because they want the sales to look good, which is going to be interesting. But yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think Last Jedi is a good example because Last Jedi actually still was one of the highest grossing Blu-rays of that year, but it was also significantly less than what the previous film had did. So yeah, I think it's all things that we need to look into for sure. For sure. So Neon says, you said you would watch Unicorn Store, so I did too, in support of All Father Solidarity. So much regret. Slicer Neons, man. No. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm going to try and see it at some point because I'm kind of trying to figure out, do I want to give it the views that Netflix wants it to give? Are there other ways? There are other ways, allegedly, that I could watch it too without giving it the views, but I kind of want to see it just so that way I can come back to you guys and be like, it's bad. You know, which I'm pretty confident I would say, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, now we're getting some questions. Now we get some questions. All right, Zine Waters said X-Men TAS had some scenes that were scene for scene that were from the comics, at least in the Dark Phoenix saga. Amazing. Awesome, Zine. I want to say, it's interesting how the 1990s just knew, the people running the shows in the 90s just knew how to make shows. Like, that's how Batman the Animated Series was. Batman the Animated Series, at least character-wise, was very true to the comics, which is why my knowledge of those DC characters is pretty good. Like, even my friends who are crazy in love with the comics world and, have been buying comics since they were younger and still to this day, go to the stores and buy their comics every month, even they would say and talk about these things and represent characters. And I'd be like, I could have a conversation with them because I had just watched the series when I was younger. So glad to hear that X-Men was the same way. So I might have to, is Zion, do you know if it's available in anything? Is it available on Hulu? Is it available on Amazon Prime? How can I watch the X-Men animated series, or do I have to buy it? Decisions. And is it available on Blu-ray? I love my Blu-rays. Sounds like something that would only be available on DVD, though. We'll see. I might have to look into that. Tech Guy says, after seeing this extended trailer footage, it seems like Endgame is getting even more Captain Marvel. I know everyone is saying trust the Russos, but after they have our money, what then? Well, that's the reason why I'm seeing it opening night. And I can get back to you guys and let you know whether or not it's something that is a problem or not. We have Gannison. We have a couple other people that I've talked to who I've said, please get back to me as soon as you can. Don't spoil anything, but let me know if Captain Marvel is a problem in the film or not. So something tells me that, remember, it's a 3-hour movie, and we've only seen, like, in all, maybe what less than 10 minutes of the entire movie? 10 to 15 minutes of the entire film. There's a lot that can happen. There's a lot of other things that happen. And so even though she might be heavy in those few minutes that we've seen, that doesn't mean that the rest of the time that she's going to be a big part of it. So I still have my trust in the Russos. In the Russos we trust until they prove that we can't trust them anymore. Orange Eye Review says, did you see the video of Mark Hamill Joker doing Heath Ledger's Joker lines? If not, I will message you. Yes, please message it to me on Twitter. I have not. Zion says, does it still light up when I type? No, it does not. Because it's faster to do that when I'm on a computer. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way. Again, the reason why I did it this way is so that it's not as easy, because it's harder on you, but it's easier on me. It was it was part selfish, but also just, it works better. At the end of the day, it works better. If there was a way that I could have like a machine capture the comments and store them, so I could just go down list by list and not have to worry about the chat jumping all the time, then yeah, I would absolutely do that. But unfortunately, I just don't have that ability. So that's the reason why I have it done in this way. Bruce says, I agree. For me, Dark World is the worst one so far, but Captain Marvel will be a never seen hard pass, Bruce. Yeah, so I think that if you did see it, that would probably replace yours, because Captain Marvel is by far my least favorite of all, but Age of Ultron is much worse than Dark World. That's just me, though. We all have different opinions on this. Soul Assassin, did you hear about the Cowboy Bebop being casted? Why? Well, again, as I said before, there are two castings that, as far as the actors go, I like the actors. But then you look at the cast and you're like, oh, I see what you're doing here. I see the political motivations behind your casting, and I don't like that. And so, overall, I also think to myself, why are you making a live-action Cowboy Bebop film when you have the series, which is perfect, and also they made a movie, which I still have not seen the Cowboy Bebop movie, but you have stuff that's already good. You don't need to remake it. It'd be like if they said, you know what, we're going to bring back Firefly, but we're going to reboot it. And we're going to cast different actors. It's like, no, screw you. I don't want to see it then at that point. Desu, what's up, Desu says, do you use product for that fantabulous beard of yours? No, I don't use product. I do have product. I just don't really use it all that much because again, there's like oils and stuff, but it's like, why would I want my beard to be oily? Like, to me, that's just like, I don't like that in general. So why would I don't know. Why would I want that on my face all day? I don't get it. So every now and then I'll use like maybe a shampoo or something that makes it smell nice, I guess, or conditioner, because the Valkyrie, my amazing Valkyrie Tina stuff, got me some, it was like some beard, it was beard, not shampoo, but conditioner essentially. It makes it softer, etc. And I use that sometimes. So that's as far as much as product goes. I do have other products, I just don't tend to use them. G-Monkey, should we do a Wonder Woman 1984 challenge to get it to make more than Captain Marvel? Or is it too soon? Yeah, I mean, it is too soon. We don't know enough about the movie, and I think that Wonder Woman's going to do fine. The fact that the first film almost made $1 billion, and it's a film that was very well received, and I think, did very well on DVD, Blu-ray, I think that film could potentially make the $1 billion mark on its own, without any type of movement behind it whatsoever. So I would say if the trailer is good, if the story is good, at least from what we see, then that's going to be enough to be able to propel it to, those same heights. But just remember that it's not going to make as nearly as much as a Disney run film because Disney is just a machine. Like, Disney is a giant machine that's able to produce these films very easily and be able to get them out to as many people as possible. Warner Brothers obviously is a giant studio too, but not nearly as much as Disney is as a studio, obviously. So I think that to put them on the same level is hard because it's like trying to compare, a giant, using a bad movie as an example. It's like trying to compare Immortal Engines, which I never saw because it looked awful. One of the small cities that's on wheels, it's still a city on wheels, to a giant city on wheels. So they're both cities on wheels, and that's insane. And oh my God, the possibilities if your city actually was moving. God, that whole concept's so stupid anyway. What was Peter Jackson thinking? But you have that going on. And then obviously, there's obviously a huge discrepancy. There's obviously a huge discrepancy there. Tina, thank you very much for reminding them. I know there's a lot of people that have been missing the last couple of live streams. And so I think that they just don't know. And it looks like a lot of them are starting to learn because I'm seeing a lot more questions. So thank you. John Early, Man of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, and The Last Jedi make The Dark Knight Rises look like a masterpiece. Yes, I will agree with you there. The Dark Knight Rises is better than all those films, hands down. I would rather watch The Dark Knight Rises again, only because, guess what? Even though there's, again, as I said, there's some great scenes, like some realistically great scenes in there, but also at the same time, you have to keep in mind that you also get those amazing sequences of Bane. Like, you get those same, what you trying to say? Oh, what kind of a man shows a man before throwing him off a plane? I just love the Bane voice. The Bane voice gets me every time. Greta says, Saturday movie night. Unicorn store, it'll be funny. Oh my gosh. Greta, the reason why I won't do that is because that means I have to torture. That means I would have to torture the people that would watch that stream. Though, of course, many of them would probably not watch that stream because they would be like, oh, we will watch you. We'll watch you watch the movie. We won't watch the movie. But no, I don't want to do that. Gannison says, gotta go to work. Have a nice one. You have a nice one as well, Gannison. Have a nice, I guess, what is it, night? No, it must be morning for you. So have a good morning at work. The Shadow says, I blame the Captain America bad tank CGI on 3D. That was the only reason I could see for how it was laid out. I didn't see it in 3D. I didn't see that movie in 3D, and so I think it just still looked bad. If you mean that you think that it was shot for 3D and that's why it didn't look as good, because I don't know, but at the end of the day, it looked awful. Random Nerd Doom, hey Odin, have you ever heard about that real life superhero named Phoenix Jones from a few years ago? No. Mad Mitch says, will you get the Infinity War Blu-ray? I ordered 4K today via your Amazon link, and we'll get it on the 18th. Well, Mad Mitch, dude, thank you so much for using the Amazon link. Thank you so much. And thanks for reminding me. Guys, if you want to support the channel, but maybe you don't have the ability to super chat or things like that, but you maybe buy things on Amazon, think about using my affiliate link. If you go through that link and buy things within 24 hours, I believe is what the number is, I get a small percentage of what you buy. It doesn't cost you anything more. It just helps me out. So again, if you buy things on Amazon, it helps me out a lot. Also, if you like audiobooks, there's a link so that you can get a free trial of Audible and get 2 free audiobooks. Again, I like audiobooks a lot because I have ADD and I kind of need those things. There's a lot of really great Star Wars audiobooks I recommend. The Thrawn trilogy. Anything narrated by Mark Thompson is fantastic. Of course, anything written by Timothy Zahn from a writing perspective is great too. But you get 2 free audiobooks with your free trial, so think about that. And if you like Amazon Prime, or you don't have it, or you would like to try it, you can click on the Amazon Prime free trial also. So thank you very much. Sorry, small plug, but again, it's a way for you to not have to spend any money, realistically, technically, unless you're already spending money, but help the channel out. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. And yes, I have Infinity War on Blu-ray. I did not get that one on 4K. Because again, I liked Infinity War a lot, but it's a film that I think can be enjoyed in a typical 1080p Blu-ray fashion. Movies like Alita Battle Angel are so like hyper stylized that you kind of need the highest quality possible. That's the reason why I like that. Also, it costs the most money, and I want to give them the most money as possible. Yes, I know the money is going to Disney, but my mindset is not it's going to Disney. My mindset is it's going to Alita and going into the name of Alita, so that way Alita eventually, hopefully, please, God, please, that we get in a sequel. Orange Hat Reviews says, I am a sucker for special features, but I will never touch Captain Marvel, not even for a blooper reel, which my strongest reason for most purchases and featurettes. Yeah, and I also keep in mind too, eventually that stuff becomes online anyway, and you'll have access to it, and you won't have to spend a dime. Super says, oh, Odin, if you do plan on seeing the new Hellboy movie, you must see Golden Army beforehand. Yes, because I mentioned this before. I've seen the first Hellboy. It's been a long time. I only saw it once, and then Golden Army I've only seen parts of, so definitely will look into that. Zion Water says, I have a feeling they're building up Captain Marvel's arrogancy so they can bat her down. I hope so. Seriously. And also remember that it would make sense because the Russos have gone on record to say that they don't like OP characters. They want characters that have rich backstories. That's why when they wrote their movies for Captain America, they made him, vulnerable. They made it that, yes, he's this powerful guy who's got superhuman strength, but he's got weaknesses too. He's not all powerful. He can't do everything. He can't do everything on his own. He needs help. And I think that that's kind of what they're going to try and do for her, is that she might think and be arrogant and think, I can do all this stuff by myself. And then hopefully, basically, there's a fight. I would love if early on in the film, she tries to go off on her own to beat Thanos, and Thanos just was like, pfft, and, kicks her butt. And then kind of like lowers her expectations down, like, humbles her. Because that to me, I think if you want to try and I'm not trying to say that she can be totally reconciled. I don't think that she can be totally revamped and saved in the minds of a lot of fans. Because I think that's kind of was already lost by her comments outside of it, by Brie Larson's comments, and also, of course, by the movie itself, Captain Marvel. But I think that if you were to have any type of story of redemption for her, or have her give at least the best chance of redemption, you make her humble. And the only way you can do that is you have her think, oh, I'm so awesome because I'm all powerful. You have Thanos kick her butt easily. And then she realizes, oh, I can't do this alone. If we can do that, that I think could, again, salvage at least something. Not everything. Not salvage completely, but as I said before, I am a pretty sensible person, and I could probably say at the very least saying, I didn't like her. I still don't like her as a person or as a character, but this is the best version of the character that we've had so far. And I can at least go that far. I can at least go that far. But yes, the arrogancy for sure. Bruce, I already have my tickets for the 25th, 7 p.m. EST. Dude, I already have my tickets too. I got tickets to the IMAX 6 p.m. CST, so same time as you, just different time zones, and I'm going to be doing the IMAX version. I tried doing the Dolby, but of course, all the apps and websites were crashing, and I couldn't do it, and even the 1045, which I was not going to do because it's a 3-hour movie, and I teach. Man, yeah, I already have my tickets too. I'm very excited. John Winkler, do you have Batman, the animated series on Blu-ray? I recently got it, and it's really good. it's on my like buy list. It's on one of the things I want to buy, and it's been on sale kind of. I mean, I know for what you're getting, it's a pretty good deal, but I know for a fact that over time, over the next year, it's going to go on some pretty massive sales just because that's just how any set does. Like a set that might one day cost $200 eventually will cost $50. And so I look at this series and I think to myself, all right, it's gotten this low, and then all of a sudden it goes on sale again, it's gotten lower. So I'm just going to wait to get to that sweet point where I'm like, okay, this is how much I could justify. I would spend $50, I think, on getting that entire series on Blu-ray. And also, the other thing, too, is that I would like it to have, in addition to the Blu-ray, a digital copy of the series. And obviously, I love the Blu-ray versions, and I love physical media, but when it comes to series especially, there might be days that I just want to binge watch it, and it's easier to do that when it's, again, all available on digital versus when you have to put in the DVD, put in the DVD, put in the Blu-ray. So I would say light it up. Super says, Batman the Animated Series, darn right, still one of my all-time favorite shows. I got to know DC the same exact way, and I still love it. Batman the Animated Series and Young Justice got me collecting comics. Nice, dude. Yeah, I never watched Young Justice, but Batman the Animated Series was freaking awesome. My favorite episode was actually one of the first episodes. I want to say it was within the first 5 or 10 episodes, and I forget the name of it, but it's the music that gets me every time. And it's the one where the Joker... It's a relationship between the Joker and like a regular everyday dude that just like crosses him at some point, and it's hilarious. It's so good. I forget the name of it, but it's a great episode. You might know what I'm talking about. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Zinewater says it looks like you can stream X-Men the animated series from Amazon Prime. What? All right, well I'm gonna do that live on air. Oh man, oh man. All right, X-Men the animated series. Let's see. Marvel Comics X-Men? No. That doesn't sound right. Marvel X-Men set animated series. X-Men the animated... Okay, X-Men the animated series. Volume 1 on DVD for $6. I wonder how many volumes there are. That's interesting. I don't know if this is the right thing. I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is right. X-Men animated series season 3. Where's season 1? Season 1. X-Men the animated series. Okay. All right. $15 standard. All right. I might look into that. Okay. I might look into that. Thank you for promoting me in that direction. You still have to pay for it though. So I'll have to look into that further. Sorry. Lou says, I make and use my own beard oil. Get on coconut oil at least. It won't make your beard oily. Also, only comb it once a day. Only comb it once a day. Interesting. But no, it's still oil, so it will make it oily. I'm still putting oil on my face. And I don't like that. I don't like oil on my face. Random Doom. Hey, Odin, did you ever wish you stood up to a bully from your childhood? Yes and no. Because obviously there are ways that I would have handled situations if I had the same knowledge now, if I could go back in time. But also, those same bullies are the people that, form me into the person that I am. And I think the same way. Obviously, I don't condone bullying, but I think that at the end of the day, if we are able to kind of move on and move past certain things and start to realize that these events and these things and these actions and these people can shape our lives, I think that eventually we realize that even some of the darkest times in our life shape us in some way. The question is, how do we let it shape us? Do we let it change us for the better, or do we let it change us for the worse? That's always going to be the number one question that we have to ask ourselves. Sasha Neon says, I hope unicorns sue Brie Larson for cultural appropriations and perpetuating offensive stereotypes. Here's the other thing. Someone let onto me a film that she did this year, and on the cover of the movie, she is dressed in a traditional Indian garb. And I think it's hilarious because this is the same person that talks about representation and everything. And I'm like, dude, you are just totally, in your own people's terms, culturally appropriating Indian culture by wearing that. It's very offensive. I'm offended for them. Random Doom, if I used your link, do I need a credit card for the Amazon trial? Yeah, just like for any trial, you have to put credit card information. But remember, it doesn't cost you anything until the trial is over. And to my knowledge, you can get access to, at least for the audiobooks, you get access to at least one in the very beginning. And that you can keep. So you can cancel it. As soon as you get the audiobook, you can cancel it and you keep that audiobook. So even if you just want to get on one audiobook, you can do that. Grandmaster Yoda says, just wonder what moment would you like best in Alita? There's so many different moments that I like for so many different reasons. I love I would give you my heart scene. I know it's cheesy, but it's also just awesome because because of the technology within her, she's able to literally put out and show her heart. And obviously we know what that is because it's been revealed to us that's very important. And yet even in that moment, you know, Hugo's like, no, like, it just kind of just shows you that he cares truly for her. And that's like, to me, the best moment that shows both of their characters, that she is, you know, she is all in, you know, she does not give halfway. She gives all of herself. And that's just who she is. And then he, on the other hand, is someone who's obviously been playing kind of different roles and wearing different hats his entire life. And now he's making a decision for himself. So I like that one a lot. But there's a lot of other scenes. There's so many other scenes that I like for different reasons. John Early says, not that it matters, but George Lazenby, the replacement for John Connery at first, has on record to say that On Her Majesty's Secret Service is the best book. There's an audiobook of it. Interesting. Nice. Super says, awesome, you got an Amazon link. I'll have to remember it in the future. Mind if I ask, can anyone apply? Do you have to meet requirements for the affiliate link? I think, yeah, anyone can apply. I don't know what the stipulation. They tell you early on, like, oh, you get a trial run, and then they decide whether or not if you get like enough clicks. Like, I think you have to get so many clicks in a certain time period, and then if you do, then you're approved. I forgot the process because it was very much, I just randomly made one, and then I didn't really promote it all that much, and then I finally realized, oh, this is what all this stuff means, and oh, this is how you create the affiliate link. And because I made links to like all the stuff that I use, so for a while now I've had links to my, you know, the Blue Snowball mic, my, you know, my webcam, the things that I use, and so I had links, you know, I had affiliate links to that. But then I realized how to make my actual affiliate link to the Amazon website, so that way anyone could just go to Amazon by using my link and then put in whatever they want and buy whatever it is that they want. And then also there were these things called bounties, and I was like, what the heck's a bounty? That just sounds awful. And then it turns out it's basically the promotion. So basically, if you sign up for a promotion, then I get, you know, some money from it. But again, it's free trials basically, and all they're doing is they're allowing more people access to their, you know, to their stuff that hopefully you'll like and that you'll stay on and you won't cancel the trial. But yeah, but it didn't take too long. It didn't take too long. Tech Guy says, why are people glossing over the fact her powers came from an engine explosion and only energy from one Infinity Stone? She isn't even close to Thanos' power. She isn't even close to Thanos' power. They made her way too OP. But also, here's my biggest problem with all of that, is that the energy from the Tesseract, the energy from the Cosmic Cube, would have killed anyone else. Remember that when it went unstable, the Cosmic Cube went unstable, what happened? Oh, that's right. A character got disintegrated, and then we found out later on that he got teleported to another planet, but then he was also a Wraith, so he was kind of destroyed, you know, talking there about Red Skull. So we looked at that, and we think to ourselves, okay, so Red Skull was a pretty powerful dude, because he received the same thing, essentially, that Captain America did, but he just had a bad reaction to it, because obviously it was a different, you know, different type of formula, but it was still similar in a lot of ways. So if even he will get disintegrated and transported and become a Wraith, how is it that the energy on a human, regular human with no special powers, no Kree blood or anything, is somehow able to absorb it? It just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, she should have been evaporated. Remember that the Tesseract, the Cosmic Cube, was actually weaponized and was used as weapons to destroy humans, and it would just evaporate humans like this, and yet somehow, some way, her body is able to absorb the energy. It doesn't make any sense. As I said before, if they wanted to go with the comics version, it would have at least made sense from a comic perspective. That the explosion, because Marvel tried to protect, because this is how the original story, this is not what the movie does. The original story is that, you know, Marvel tries to protect and cover up for Carol Danvers, you know, and through that, the explosion, because it was, you know, I want to say it was an alien explosion, what happens from that is that their genes splice together, and that's how she becomes Miss Marvel. That's how she gets her powers, and that to me makes a lot more sense, even from a comics perspective, than anything else. It just it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. John Early says, sorry about that. I was trying to write a big comment and I forgot a word. No problem, John Early. It's all good, man. I figured as much. Beats of Angels. Oh, it's Odin's questions now. Yeah, so sorry. So guys, if you have not been around in a while, if you want to get my attention, you have to, instead of just putting Odin or at Odin's movie blog, you need to put Odin question, all one word. Odin question. Doesn't have to be uppercase, lowercase, just Odin question, as long as it's all one word. It'll pop up as orange for me, and those are the comments that I read. Those are the questions that I ask, and the reason why is because if I just have Odin there, a lot of people just put Odin in their general conversations with each other, not just with me, and it just became like just an overload of Odins. This way it just keeps things a little bit more controlled. And also it means that if you really want me to read something or you really want me to answer a question, you'll put forth that effort to put in Odin questions. So basically it just kind of tries to, you know, make things a little bit more straightforward for me at the very least. So I appreciate it. Sorry if that, you know, causes any, you know, chaos for anybody. It just helps me out. Random Rare Dune says, will Hela appear in Avengers Endgame? She was Thanos' lover in the comics, and we didn't see her die in Thor 3. I mean, anything is, I guess, possible, but I doubt it. Tina, thank you. Thank you for letting them know. Sasha Neon says, that episode sounds like Joker's favor. Yes, solid episode. Also watch Young Justice. Okay, Young Justice. All right, have to watch that at some point. That is the episode, Joker's favor, because yeah, what ends up happening is that the Joker says that he owes him one. That the regular dude owes the music. I don't know what song they use, but it's fantastic. It's so good. Oh, I love it. Soul Assassin says, can you imagine Captain Marvel flying towards Thanos, gets backhanded, then Thanos uses the Time Stone to slap her back with the other hand. Yes. That'd be awesome. That'd be so awesome. Mad Mitch. Aw, thanks, dude. Thanks for the $20 super chat. He says, to go towards a certain mic you want to get. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Tech Guy, we need an Odin movie review website. Has to happen. Tech Guy, again, summer is when I plan to actually go like full bore into it, pay for hosting, pay for an actual website account, and not the really bad unprofessional one that's up right now, which I'm still very proud of, with the fact that I have no technology experience, like no coding experience at all. I'm actually very happy that I was able to get a working system even by using like back ends with Excel and, you know, Google Sheets and Google Docs and Google Forms. And because of that experience, when I eventually over the summer, you know, pay for hosting, pay for website name, domain name, etc., and actually put forth in what I want the site to look like and more functionality, you know, forums, things like that. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of things I want to do. And over the summer, when I finally have time, hopefully have time, then that's going to be kind of like where my full attention goes. Among a couple other things that some of you guys who are patrons know a little bit more about. But yes, Soul Assassin, I love that. And Mad Mitch, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Alrighty, let's see. All right, now we have people asking some questions. That's good. Zine Watters says, Batman, the animated series, my favorite episodes were Baby Doll, So Deep, an original character, and Mr. Freeze's origins. Yes, which were altered for this show. Oh, yes. I also really like the Clayface episode. The Clayface origin story is great. Oh, I love Clayface. Super says, yeah, I remember that episode. It was great. Best part was when the dude finally snapped, pranked the Joker, and Batman laughed in his face. My favorite is probably the Gray Ghost. Oh, yes, I remember that episode. I mean, the episode that we were talking about beforehand. Gray Ghost. Ah, I don't remember that. Alex McCarthy, I'm late again. Blame Monday Night Raw. Dude, don't spoil anything. I need to watch Monday Night Raw. I know I should be watching it right now, and I'm going to try and catch up with it as fast as I can, because the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania is always the best. It's usually better than WrestleMania, because not only is it significantly shorter, but also they usually have a lot of people like debut. They've got, you know, usually shakeups happening, like with people switching brands, and there's just a lot of crazy stuff that tends to happen. Zinewater says, did you see the article on the Mary Sue who blasts Lita for only being kind of powerful female that talks to males? Dude, I did an entire video on that. Where were you, man? I have a video up still on the channel. G-Monkey. We will have to ask Nerdrotic what Mrs. Nerdrotic recommends for the beard. I stopped using oils and balms because I hated having oily residues on my phone. Yeah, again, that's another part of it too. Again, if it's going to leave an oily residue on my phone, it's going to leave an oily residue on my skin, and I'm going to feel it. It's just I'm going to feel dirty all day, and I don't like that. I'd rather it be dry. Like, seriously, I'd rather it be unhealthy and dry than healthy and oily. Random Nerdoom, did you know YouTube has free audiobooks like the Star Wars Legends novel? They do, but they're also not necessarily legal. Random Nerdoom, I'm not trying to say I'm anything against that, but I'm also saying if you want free audiobooks that are legitimate, that you can actually keep after your trial, yeah, think about it. Orange Hat Reviews, what is your favorite moment in the John Wick movies? John Wick 2, when he's doing his run. When he sets up all the guns and he's finally like running back and he's taking up all the guns that he set up and doing, that whole sequence is so great. and I love it so much. There's obviously a lot of great scenes in those in those movies, but that whole sequence is just so well done. God, the choreography that goes into that is so damn good. I love it. Bruce, I'm a big anime fan, and I was so let down by Ghost in the Shell. So Alita was like such a win for us. Oh, did you hear? It looks like Gundam will be getting a live action movie. I heard from someone else that Gundam was getting live action. I would never watch Gundam when I was younger, so I don't have a lot of knowledge of it overall. But Ghost in the Shell, that was a case where I watched the anime and I watched the live action, and I didn't like either. I didn't like the anime or the live action. It didn't reach me. Maybe I wasn't in a good mood that day. Maybe I need to go back and watch the anime. But I know the live action just was so boring. Alexander says, how do you determine talented film and TV people since there is a big following for any kind of worthless garbage? You know, how do you determine talented film? I don't know, like for hiring or just mean in general. Like you determine whether or not someone's talented by just watching their work. Like I've said it before that Brie Larson, despite my issues with her as a person and her performance in Captain Marvel, she is a good performer. Again, there are movies that I really like her in. Room being one example of that. She plays that part very well. I like her as being that kind of off supporting character that she's done beforehand. I like her in indie films too. Obviously Unicorn Store is probably not going to be good because she's directing herself, which is just doesn't sound good, seeing that she's so full of herself in general. When someone else actually is able to contain her and rein her in, I think that she's able to give good performances. There's a great indie film, and I've talked about it several times before. It's called Short Term 12, and it's great because it deals with juveniles who are all going through very difficult times emotionally. A lot of them are struggling with various mental illnesses, and it's very powerful. It's hard to watch sometimes, especially if you've known anyone that's gone through any type of mental illness before, but it's very powerful, and she does a great job in it. She does. So again, I can step back, and even people I don't like, even people like personally, not personally, obviously I don't know her, but based on her personal experience, personal words, and interviews she's done, obviously I think she's kind of despicable and she's full of herself. I can still recognize the talent that she does have, all right? And so basically that's what I do, is I try and step back for a second. I try and say, okay, what do we have going on here? I try and check, basically, when it comes to acting is probably one of the hardest things to really be able to step back and say, okay, this is, objectively good, this is objectively bad, but it is possible because there are certain things that, that actors do. It's not just line delivery, it's also, do they envelop their character? That's the number one question I ask after a movie. Did I buy that the actor on screen was the character they were trying to portray? Great example I can give you. If you look to Batman and Robin, an objectively bad film with objectively bad, acting. How do I know this? Look to Batman. George Clooney plays George Clooney. George Clooney does not play Bruce Wayne. George Clooney does not play Batman. George Clooney plays George Clooney. And that's why it's a bad movie. That's why it's a bad performance. And so I looked at that film and I'm like, all right, that's not Batman. I mean, that's not a guy even trying to play Batman. That's a guy that's just being himself, wearing a bat suit. And it just doesn't make any sense. And so you look to another movie. For example, you look to Dark Knight, look to the Joker. Heath Ledger's not doing Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger is doing a character, and you believe that he is that character. And I go to any film, and I think, do I buy what I'm watching on screen or not? And if I buy into it, there's a good performance there. If I don't buy into it, which is why I don't like Brie Larson and Captain Marvel, because I don't buy that she's being Carol Danvers. It just seems like Brie Larson's playing herself trying to be a superhero, and I don't like it. Design Water says the reason Carol wasn't killed by the Tesseract is because they're literally building up to her getting her own powers when she loses these, like she did to Rogue in comics. Oh, I hope not, man. Ramner Doom says, hey, Odin, what if they killed off Brie as Captain Marvel, but before she died, she gave birth to a son without a father who would become the male Captain Marvel based on the original Captain Marvel? Oh, man. No. Peter Hand says, what is best in life? What is best in life? What do you mean best in life? Noah says bringing your tissue. So many tissues. It's insane. MCOC says, what's up, Odin? Just got blocked by Dan Reed on his fake account. Dan Reed, you may ask, is the director of Leaving Neverland, the maker of a documentary on Michael Jackson that has been debunked. Really? You mean the documentary that everyone talked about? It's been debunked? Has it been debunked? Has it? Beads of Angels. So it still shows up But if you were to put the same thing without the @ symbol, it would still work. Basically, anytime the letters Odin question go in that order, it pops up. You could literally have any letters before or after, but as long as Odin question in that order, ODINQUESTION, are there in that order, it'll pop up as orange for me. I know. Interesting, right? Connor Allen, do you like Breaking Bad? Yes. Breaking Bad's such a good show. And again, it's a show that knew it could not go on forever, and that's why, to me, it had one of the best endings of any show. Love it, love it, love it. Luke, combing too much can break the hair follicles, and beard oil keeps the beard healthy and stimulates growth. It's not oily, but more like watery, but dries. You only need the smallest bit. Okay. I'll think about that. Contact me through Twitter or email or Discord, whatever way you can contact me, because as someone who seems like a beard expert, I would like to know more. Delta Raven says, any thought on the sword Thanos apparently has now? It kind of looks like he can summon the Bifrost now, like Stormbreaker, so it's similar to Heimdall's? Really? I didn't see that. That is interesting. I really like the idea of Thanos with the sword, though. Grandmaster Yoda. For me, it's the same moment. Still, for me, it's not only that who she is, but my heart is yours is normal in Hollywood, normal to say, but damn rare I see it. It was very romantic. Oh, I agree, for sure. Can you hear it? But the fact that she said it and was able to literally physically express it and you believe it, you're like, oh man, it's a very powerful moment. Batgoat, have you seen Star Trek TAS on Netflix? It's early filmation, so there's a Star Trek animated series? The animation is bad, but the voices are original cast. I like it in a cringe way. No, I've never seen that. I never even knew there were a Star Trek animated series. That's insane. John Early says, I've heard the animated series Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes was pretty good. Season 1 and 2 are on Blu-ray, I believe. Interesting. There's so many things I need to watch. So many things that I need to catch up on. All right, guys, we're at the hour-and-a-half moment, so if we could just slow down the questions. I'm going to try and get through these ones now that everyone knows how to contact me. Oh my god, so far behind now. All right, so let's see. Odin question. Hello, my friend. Arf Puppy's a great clan, is loving the warm weather. Frank says, I miss the cold weather. I hate this hot. Southern Louisiana is so miserable right now. Bruce says, just based on the trailer, Joker looks like it's going to kill. Yes. Oh my god, cannot wait for Joker. James Hancock. I think Alita is so endearing because she's more vulnerable than almost any other martial arts warrior character I can think of. That's a good point. Noah, bring tissues plus care. Yes. Modern Dude, I'm late again, starting to become regular. Oh, it's okay, man. I was late to the stream. Demon Scythe, what's up, Demon Scythe? I sent you a DM on Twitter about Hack Fraud Media's Last Jedi critique. Just watched it early today, and it's probably the best one I've seen yet. Really worth watching. All right, thank you. I'll try and check that out if I have time. I just don't have time these days. Steph says, all right, thank you for letting people know. Random Air Doom, is it stressful to be a teacher? I heard that, oh, yes. First year was the most stressful year of my life. No question about it. James Hancock, but now it's not nearly. Now it's a cakewalk. Compared to my first year, it's a cakewalk. Okay, it doesn't mean that's always easy, but compared to any person's first year, it's always going to be. James Hancock says, I think Alita is so. Okay, got that one already. That was a repeat. Slicer says, Grey Ghost had Adam West guest star and was so cool. Rip Adam. Oh, yeah, R.I.P. Peter Hahn, is Die Hard 2 a Christmas movie? No, Die Hard is. Die Hard is, not Die Hard 2. Dude, Clayface is so good. Grey Ghost was voiced by Adam West. GG had TV show and Bruce's childhood hero, and Batman finds him retired, and they team up to down bad guy. Love it. Ooh, nice. Okay. All right, I got you. But yeah, Clayface so good. James Hancock says, I think Alita is. Okay, that's the same comment. Don't spam comments, all right? Nigaludo says, good vid you did on the upcoming Lion King reshoot. Are the CGI animals still going to be singing? It's going to be super weird to see CGI realistic animals singing. Oh my god. It seems like, I mean, they brought Beyonce in. So it seems to indicate that they're going to have singing animals, and that's going to be weird, and that's why I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Please sing something, please, says Steph. Oh, man. And can you feel the love tonight? I don't know. That was weird. I don't know why I went there. No, that was awful. That was awful. Alexander says, acting believably in one movie doesn't mean they're a good actor, right? Since they could be acting like themselves. That's why it usually takes more than one movie. But there are other movies that you can kind of tell, like, you know, if they're you know, being authentic. Bruce says, just the first movie or the series as well. I missed part of the answer. Watch the series. No, I watched Ghost in the Shell, the anime movie. Not a series, but the anime movie. Didn't like it. Rhaegar Targaryen says, as a rule, actors directing films is a bad idea. Yeah, it very rarely works out. Lost Rain, have you seen they made an animated Batman versus Teenage Mutant Turtle movie or crossover to Teenage Mutant Turtles. I haven't seen it yet myself. I want to know your thoughts on this. Wait, what? Batman and the Ninja Turtles did something together? What? Zion says George Clooney looks like his neck isn't screwed on tight enough. Seriously, probably. John Early says Brie Larson was in Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Don Johnville. That's right. And she was Don John's sister, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt was able to get her a decent speech. Dude, and also her role in that film was great because she was kind of like the moral, not the moral voice, but she wasn't her character in that film that she was always on her phone, but she still had like tremendous insights. No, yeah, she was great in that. Thanks, Steph. Appreciate it. Soul Assassin. Watch Razorfish channel. He had multiple videos debunking the Leaving Neverland documentary. Okay, interesting. MCOC. It has, if you would like proof of Leaving Neverland has been debunked, basically. I can show you tons of evidence. I can send you the links if you want to. I can't dedicate time to watching all of them, so hold off on it for now. I still need to watch the original, if I'm honest. Tina says, Star Trek animated series is from the 70s and starred the original cast. It didn't take long. It didn't last long, and I don't think Roddenberry considered it canon. It's okay. Okay, gotcha. Hammer, did you know Endgame was shot in the IMAX format, so your viewing experience will be better than Dolby? Well, I mean, yeah. So basically, it's going to be in the format that it was shot in, which is always better to see it in the format it was shot in. But at the same time, Dolby is, I think, just a better experience overall. Just because sound, image, and seats. Random Doom says, I think I was a mutant. I was diagnosed for having Asperger's years ago by a female doctor named Dr. Gray, so I think I should go for Xavier School for the Gifted. Yes! Antonio Hernandez, did you like Blade Runner? Dude, 2049 was awesome. I love that movie. That movie deserves so much more money. I'm so sad that movie didn't make any money. Ashmarina says, do you think Shazam will make enough money to turn a profit despite Hellboy releasing next week and Endgame? Yes. So Shazam had a very strong opening weekend. Hellboy will make some money, but honestly, do you think Hellboy is really going to make that much money? It's going to make money. It's probably going to be number one, maybe at the box office. But that means Shazam will be at the worst a strong number two. So, yeah. Rhaegar Targaryen says, I'm ready for the lion cringe. It's going to be so cringe. It's going to be so cringe. But yeah, sorry. But Endgame, you said, sorry, Alex Martinez, getting back to your comment. Endgame at the end of the month. Yeah, I think Shazam is going to make enough to break even and profit. It's not going to make $1 billion, but it's going to make money. Rhaegar Targaryen, yes. The lion cringe is perfect. Perfect name. Greta, Bradley Cooper is a good example of directing himself turning out well. Yes, Bradley Cooper, Star is Born was so good. It was so good. Oh my gosh. I need to finish these comments. Jedi Starship says, what's on the t-shirt today? I can't show you the t-shirt today, unfortunately. It's work related. That's why. So I've been trying to cover it up because they're only the labels are only in certain places, so I can't show it to you all together. It's a really great shirt though. John Wingler says, did you ever watch Static Shock? No, never got into it. Christian Joe, did you hear Bree's comments during the Endgame press junket that she first portrayed Carol in Endgame before even getting a script for her movie? The same happened with Gal Gadot for Wonder Woman. What? Interesting. Bruce says, watch the series Gets Standalone Complex. All right, I don't know what that is. Grandmaster Ida says, I think it's a shame for Disney with Captain Marvel acting Alita face in all CG and have more emotion. Nice touch there, Disney. Oh my gosh, yeah. So basically saying that it's sad that you have a CGI character in Alita Battle Angel that has more emotion than Brie Larson does in the entire movie of Captain Marvel. That's a good point. Krista Joe says, you need to watch the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon show. It's fantastic, especially the Skrull storyline, Invasion's Aftermath. There are many things. Can you feel the cringe tonight? Yes. Clint Eastwood is a great example. Super. Real quick, any movies that haven't received a ton of press that you were excited for? John Wick 3. it's the only thing I can think about. Oh my god. Ghost in the Shell. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Bruce. Thank you. All right. I'll do the very best that I can. All right, so my ears? What did I do? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? All right, guys, so let me go ahead and shout out my patrons really quick, though, because I do have to start wrapping things up because I need sleep. So let me give a huge shout out to A Grade Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Albertus Magnus, Aman Yosef Marcos, Brian P., Darkstar57, Lead System 32, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan, Wiener Dog, Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka, Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mr. Peabody, and his evil twin, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Pro Jar Sharif, Proper Jeremy, Sir Lance Elato, Theodora, the K-Man, the DJD Show, Those Two Bald Guys, Tina B, and Wolfgang Lounge. Thank you so much. You're amazing and beautiful people. Alex McCarthy says, don't miss Raw, trust me, God bless. Ooh, Alex McCarthy, yeah, you got me excited for it, man. It better live up to these expectations, Because if it doesn't, we're going to have problems. Alex Martinez, all right. So, do you think it's so close to each other? Endgame's gonna make a crap ton of money. Detective Pikachu will be fine. John Wick 3 will make enough to justify itself. Aladdin might not make money. Godzilla will make money. Dark Phoenix, who knows? Big question. Big question mark. Super says, thanks for putting up with me. Never. Super, no problem at all. All right, guys. Indeed, the puppies are here, but I have to go. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. We have like 130 people watching. This is insane. Seriously, thank you so much for starting late with me. Thank you for sticking around with me. And thank you, all the people, for the Super Chats tonight. You were awesome. And thank you so much just for being so supportive of the channel, for putting up with this new format with the Odin question. Seriously, I know that it's a hassle, but it really does help me out a lot, because now instead of falling 30, 45 minutes behind, I maybe fall like 10 minutes behind, which is definitely not nearly as bad. Though, of course, once everyone catches on, I'm gonna have to change it up again. Maybe I should make a word of the week. I can't, because actually I can only change the name 3 times in 60 days or something like that, so probably won't be able to do that, but that would be hilarious. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Proper Jeremy, Proper Jenny, sorry, his name is Proper Jenny now. Gosh, such a troll. Oh, I hate Jenny. I hate Proper so much. See you in Chicago. Proper's gonna be in Chicago. Can I get my money back? I don't want to go to Chicago anymore. Gosh. Proper. Anyway, sorry, I love you, Proper. Thank you so much for watching, every person. Huge shout out to the Valks. Give some love to the Valks, Tina and Steph. They've been doing a great job tonight, as always. And also, seriously, thank you guys so very much. Support the channel in whatever way you can. But most of all, be good to each other and to yourselves. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.